How do? It's another Monday. This morning I've done a couple of bits on the Defender. I wasn't quite happy where I'd put the tracker. I thought maybe it might be a bit of an obvious place to look, so I've moved it. So that's done, obviously off camera. Also the brake pedal the brake light switch on the pedal was slightly too low on the bracket I made for the pedal lock to go on. It would go just, but for the sake of taking the bracket off, moving the hole, moving it all up a little bit, I managed to make a lot more clearance for the brake lock, the pedal lock to go over. So that's done. And now, for the first time, I've put the trailer on the lift for two reasons. First of all, to see if it was possible. And secondly, because I'm not getting any right indicator and the box is located underneath, and to save lying down, because obviously it's quite a low trailer, trying to see under it, I thought, well, why don't we try and get it on the lift? So there it is. So I'm going to have a little look at the junction box, check the connectivity between the plug and down the end, make sure we're good, and then see if we can find what the problem is. So let's get under there. Right, so the cable from the car plug goes down the left-hand side, all the way down, has a little curl up there, goes all the way along, all the way along, all the way along, and then into this junction box where all the connectors are. So this is where you can add lights and things in. So if you want to add some extra side lights or some underneath lights, maybe, if you want that look, all things you could do with there. So we need to find the right hand indicator and then have a little check with the old connectivity and see how we're getting on. So I'm going to do that. You can see the main plug lead comes in here and then splits off. So I'm going to have a little ganders at that. And there we go. That's that fixed. Didn't have right indicator. It had come loose in the box. So I can now put it all back together. Job's a good one. Right, so while I'm here, I'm checking all the brakes. 5 of them locked on when the handbrake come on. This one didn't. So I've had the wheel off, had the hub off and checked the brakes. They've still got plenty of lining left, so it's just a matter of adjusting them. So I just got to pop that little grommet out that's in there and just spin that. There's an arrow there, you can see, down. So you turn that down and then tighten them up. So make sure they're completely free when turning. And then obviously when you pull the handbrake, they're locked. So I'm probably gonna take the hubs off all 6 and just check all the linings just to be on the safe side. Okay, so the gold Freelander's back on the ramp. We had 3 advisories on Friday. Both front brakes are binding. And then there was the smoke, but that's pretty much gone now, so not worried about that. So the first thought is, the sliders are seized, but they need a little bit more grease, but the top one is free as a bird. That one's a little bit, but still free. So I've taken them apart, I've cleaned out all the trays that the brake pads go in. I've cleaned the ears of the brake pads up. I've wound the caliper back just to get everything moving and free, and I'll put a bit of copper slip on the ears of the pad just so it moves about freely in there, and I'll whip these off, clean them up, put some grease on them, and I'll do that both sides. So that was easy just to take off, just 2 12 mils. Job's a good one. Right, back together. That's nice and free now, no problem at all. Obviously once you get in and put your foot on the brake, that will close the piston up and that will stop that from rattling around. But yeah, that one's done. So let's move on to the other side. Well, little update. The blue Freelander went yesterday morning. Pretty much for the asking price, because it was obviously really, really clean, so that was good. So the rest of yesterday, I went and got the gold one. I went and got it all validated, took some photos, chucked it up on the old interwebs, and that's just gone as well. So I haven't had to do any servicing to it or anything like that. The guy's taken it. I presume he's looking at his Facebook, he does them up and sells them himself, so I presume he's probably just going to make good and sell it himself. So yeah, I'm going away for a few days for a nice break, so have a lovely weekend. I'll catch you in the next one. Right, driving the Defender this morning, bang, another front driver's bag gone. I've had a quick look. I think I can work out what it is, what's causing it. So I'm going to get it up in the air, get the wheel off, and I will show you what's causing it. Right, as you can see, when it really airs out, because the axle's obviously arcing this way, it's tipping it back. It's hitting this. Now I have given this a tap because this was over here somewhere, so it was really hitting it. So what I need to do is give that a bit more of a tap just to get it over a bit more. Put the new bag in and see how it's sitting like this. We might have to refigure this whole brake situation, but right, let's give it a tap and see what happens. Right, with that tapped out the way, it does miss on full droop. I think when it's before, it was obviously lowering down, rubbing, going back up, rubbing. I don't think it's touching when it's moving. So I think it was just that act that's caused it. So let's pump it up to normal ride height and we'll see what happens. Yeah, obviously it's a little skew width because it is jacked up, but it's almost on ride height. I think it's a bit too much pressure in that, but it keeps it away. So I think we better check the other side to make sure that's not getting hit. But yeah, I think that will resolve it. Right, I now have two elephant trunks. I have fitted the heater manifold. I've connected this vent up. Then I've got one more to go to the other top dash vent and the other one to go to the driver's footwell. I've got to pull all this apart again anyway because I'm going to change the way the air is routed. If you remember before, I had some leaks, so I had to take it apart and redo it. But what I'm going to do is get all new lines, all new connectors, and as opposed to using the Disco 2 airbags have 4mm pipe. I am going to order 4 Contitech bags that have screw fittings, and I've purchased the correct fittings for a 6mm PTC. So I'm going to run 6mm straight to each bag as opposed to the 4mm. So I'm going to pull all the dashboard apart again. Well, I'll say pull it again. Take off the 2 panels to be able to redo all the air hoses. So once they're done, I'll run these pipes across and connect them up. So just for now, they're sitting out of there. I'll leave that panel off for now. It's not the end of the world. I'm just waiting for the bits to turn up. I'm not going to start stripping it all down just to run them, to have to put it all back together again. I might as well do the whole lot at once. So yeah, so that's on and done. The only other issue, now a while ago I rebuilt my heater box, but I've just gone to obviously look at wiring it up, and this vent isn't moving very far. So if you see, that's probably got an inch of movement. Now the one that's due to go on this Defender here has probably 2 inches of movement maybe. So I don't know if mine's, well, this one might be worn, I suppose, and I've refurbed all mine, so with the seals and stuff it might be a bit tighter, but I don't know, that moves quite a lot. I'd say, yeah, probably 2 inches. And as I say, mine's only about an inch. Story of my life. Yeah, nowhere near as much. So I might have to pull this out and just check and see what's going on. I wonder whether there's one of the screws that's slightly too long and it's just catching on it. I don't know. So yeah, so that might have to be looked at. But next job is to wire up the rock lights. So I'm going to get on with that. Right, I've got a transit tipper in. We have some light issues. Service light's on, and you can see down there the brake warning light is on. He assures me it's had a service, so he wants it turned off. I don't know whether it has or not, but I'll do as I'm told. And I need to try and find out what the brake warning light is. So let's plug it in. The OBD is under the column. You pull the panel off and it's there, look. So let's plug it in and see what it says. Also, before I plug it in, I've brought the Jag in. I had it on, had jump leads on it for over an hour yesterday and it wouldn't fire. So I've put the battery on charge, but it is down to 9 volts. Don't know if you can see that. Yeah. So I don't know if it's going to recover. Obviously it's been sat for a long time. We might have to treat it to a new battery. That is the original one it come with as well. So bear in mind, once the engine had blew, it had been sat and it had died as well. So we done well reviving it the first time. So it might be time for a new one, because when the winter comes, or, you know, when that's sawned because there's no nice days, I'll have this and the Defender on the road. So we probably will treat it to a new battery. But for now, I'm just going to charge it up, see if I can get any life in it. Right, well, we're an hour in. And it says, you can't really tell, 12 volt. And it's starting to get a bar on there. So it might recover. Right, transit's in. The service light is done, but the scanner doesn't tell me which brake is at fault. A quick Google of the code in case that brought up which corner. It doesn't, but so many posts say the rear is the first place to look. So that's what we're going to do. So let's get under it. Bingo, we have no lights. So that's done. It's another job ticked off, so this can go back. Still going. We're on 13.1 at the moment, still climbing, so fingers crossed. Right, a couple more jobs I've done. I've lowered the clock bracket. I've only moved it down about an inch, but when I'm sat here, it now means I can see the dashboard. Before it was up here. Obviously, where I've now put a smaller steering wheel on, it was just obstructing the view. So yeah, so I've moved that down. And also my gear knobs. I got these really cheap. I think they're about a tenner for the pair, because they were slightly threaded wrong. So when you tighten them up, they're upside down. So I've just taken them off, put a couple of washers inside, tightened them up. Job's a good one. Another cheap fix. Good afternoon, it's Friday. Now this morning, I picked up an X5. I'll insert a picture here. And I towed it with the Defender. Oh, it was hard work. The power was there, but it was sluggish. I've just picked this tractor up, the International again, because that's going to a show this weekend. I'll go trade it there tomorrow. And what a difference. The Defender pulled it without trouble. in different gears than what it did the X5. It absolutely shone, to be fair, and I'll show you why. In between trips, I popped over to see the guys at Empire Tuning. Basically, I just wanted to go and see them and just have a word about how I wanted the Defender remapped. Because I tow, I don't want it to have all the silly popcorn thing and blow out loads of smoke and all that malarkey. I just wanted it to tow. And just to give me a bit more oomph for the big tyres. And Gareth there did it while I waited. He said he wouldn't normally, but he had a couple of minutes, so he took my ECU apart, re-chipped it, re-flashed it, and yeah, what a difference. Right, so I don't know how well you're going to hear me, because obviously I'm in an old Defender, and I don't know how strong the mount is going to be, but just now off out to the East Coast Retros meet in the Defender. I just thought you're probably not going to see much, but I thought you'd take you for a little drive. Basically, it is a lot less clattery. With the remap, it seems a lot quieter. It might not sound that way on the video, it's probably really loud, but even on idle, it's a lot quieter. And Gareth said that that is a characteristic with it because of the fueling. So yeah, so overall I'm exceptionally happy. So hang on, I was just about to give it a little bit of a tickle, but there's people coming, so I will let them go, and then we will have a little bit of a thing. I mean, it wasn't too bad before, but it's completely different now. Oh dear. Obviously a Defender isn't a race car, but my god, what a difference. What a difference. So if you want your TD5 mapped, or my Jag's going to go to him, the 2.7, not to be remapped, but just to have the EGRs and that sorted out. But if you want anything like that, go and find Empire Tuning over in Essex. I was going to go to a live because they've got an open day tomorrow and they're up in Lincolnshire in Louth, but my friend said we'll go to Empire, they're only down the road. Turns out they are, so yeah, I'm well impressed. I love it. So anyway, I'm off to Shotley. Have a great weekend. I've got Shotley tonight, I've got Fordham show the next couple of days of the tractor, so I might do a bit of video in at these two, but if not, have a great weekend. I'll see you next week. Yeah, ta-da.